Discord, yourgloommedia.com/Discord. We'd love to have people come in and join the chat, learn about the shows. A lot of great people, and yeah, come get to know us, and we'd love to get to know y'all.
Awesome. And we are very thankful to be a part of your media. Excuse me, everybody, I'm a little congested, but
I thought you were going to get a little verklempt and just a little emotional because of how much excitement you have as being part of this epic network.
I love it.
I'm not overselling it at all.
It's an amazing network. That's all I'm saying. It's amazing.
It's a network. Is that what you said? It's a network. It's fine.
It's a network. You're awesome network, and Richard's a little nervous doing this by himself, as you can tell. I'm a kid with the keys to the house, and I'm running around like a crazy person, and awesome. I'm excited about it. So
hell yeah, let's get all the candy out and start playing all the movies we're not supposed to watch.
Hey, you know what? That's probably part of the problem right now. I probably ate too much candy. I'm not even joking. I shouldn't. Yeah.
Wait, what kind of candy?
Jolly Ranchers.
Ooh, wait, well, hold on. What flavor Jolly Rancher is your favorite?
I love sour apple.
Okay, there was only one right answer, and that was not it. Sorry.
Oh, what's the right answer then?
Watermelon.
Come on.
Watermelon's the best.
What?
Yeah, watermelon's the best.
No, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. I have to put that aside. All
right, we're off to a rocking start here.
I eat it, but I do it at the end. I love all Jolly Ranchers. I guess not equally, evidently. But my second one is cherry.
Cherry? Okay, I'll accept that.
Okay, you're good with cherry.
Don't they have like a grape one too?
Hey, I like the grape also. Cherry and grape are right there. They're like neck and neck. So
yeah, but still like at the very bottom of the barrel below watermelon. Got it. Cool. We're good.
Okay.
Dude, don't get me started if we start talking about airheads, man. If we start talking about airheads, it's going to get serious if we have disagreements.
Okay, so you go first, real quick. Which one do you like?
My second favorite airhead is watermelon.
What's your first?
Cherry all day, man. It's not even close. Cherry cherry's the best one, without a doubt. What about you?
Which one do I like?
You probably like the whatever the blue one is, or mystery white. You like to be surprised.
Oh my God, get out of my head. I'm like, get out of my head right now, Jonesy.
It's amazing how many people like mystery white. I'm like, why? You have no idea what's in there.
I know. Sometimes it's gross, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I'm so glad when they started selling like the little miniature ones, so you don't feel as bad about
yourself
when you eat 5,000 of them. So,
like Laffy Taffy. I'm just saying.
And they're like a quarter, like at the store. It's so great. Anyway, you're here for other nerd stuff, not candy nerd stuff.
Exactly.
I'm a huge fan of nerds, by the way. Yeah, let's do it.
Anyway, let's talk about. Do you want to do Sandman first, or do you want to do She Hulk?
Let's do Sandman, man, because I've been binging this all day long, and I didn't read the comics at all, so I'm coming into this completely new.
I think that's good, though. Yeah. I read the comic books, and
how true is the show staying to the comics?
Oh my God, it's doing such an amazing job. But Neil Gaiman is a part of it from the beginning, and he unapologetically said, "Guess what? This is not going to be for everybody, and this is for my fans who've been wanting this movie since the freaking 90s."
Right.
And he's like, "This is my love letter to them." So this makes it super awesome for me. I want to hear what you think. I want to, as a first-time person that's coming into it, who hasn't read the graphic novels or the comic books and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest compliment I give is I want to go back and read the comics now and just see what else there is, behind all of this stuff. It's been really good. It's kind of a weird show sometimes though, because I don't always know. So like, what was it? Chapter 3, the one where, the guy goes into the diner and is trying to set the truth free and all of that stuff. Was that chapter 4, maybe?
It was chapter 4.
Yeah, 4, yeah. So after he's trying to get he's trying to get the ruby back, right?
Right.
And so that one was trippy, man, because it was like, I found myself getting a little bored because I'm like, okay. But it wasn't until the end I finally, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was like, kidding me? What the fuck just happened here? I mean, it got real fast.
Yeah,
And
very dark.
It did.
Really dark. Very
but I got to ask you, is it real? Like, did all that stuff really happen or no?
It's exactly what Dream said it is. It was very much, it was half truths because that's not who they are completely. It's people who are healing, but not completely, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
They are coming to terms with who they are, but they're not completely there yet. And I just thought it was just super interesting. I mean, because there was so much more to each one of those people. You know, there was just so much more to
Mm-hmm.
it. It's like, the one guy who was, with the waitress's son. And by the way, he is 21.
Yeah, they made sure that was very clear.
I'm like, can we please make that very clear? Because
Right.
a couple of content people would just cut that part out. And
Yeah.
then they got like these angry, it's like, how dare he go up there and get with a kid and this, that, because she's like, he's a kid. He's like, well, he's 21. He knows more than me at my age,
Right.
when I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I don't know. I
But so
I just
did the actual like, the girl killing herself or chopping the fingers off, did any of that stuff actually really happen? Or was that all just like this weird? I didn't know if those were actually real or not. That's the thing I was trying to figure out, was whether or not, like, what actually really happened in the diner. Like, at what point did it phase into like a more of a dream state of what could happen versus, because then they kind of rewound it, and he, dreams showed him exactly what it all was, and what the how their dreams actually helped them with hope, basically.
It happened because, and it didn't just happen there. And that was the awesome thing at the end. You saw like all these car accidents and fires and everything else. What he did everywhere. He didn't just do it in the diner. He was in the diner and it was an enclosed space, so he didn't kind of see what was going on. But if you actually look on the TV with the pandas.
I heard all the and the stuff in the background. Yeah,
exactly. So that shows you it wasn't just in that diner, but he wanted it to be in that diner. But he's human and he doesn't know how to wield his power. And I think that's what the scary thing is. And he's just like, we have to fix this, to the Raven, his Raven. And he's like, we have to fix this some kind of way. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That was a great comic book, or through the graphic novel, one of the stories that I read. It's kind of an anthology. It's absolutely beautiful, but very truthful. And they held back on a lot of things. And I'm not just talking about this story. A lot of them, they had to hold back, especially Hell, too.
Yeah.
There is some absolutely horrible, crazy things. Like in a comic book, he fought the demon. He didn't fight Lucifer.
Okay.
Lucifer.
I didn't know how that was going to shake out. I was like, oh crap, he is.
Did you like the fight though? Did you like how they actually did the fight though?
Yeah, I was really curious if it was actually going to be a real fight, and I didn't realize it was basically it was like a game you play as a kid. I'm like, well, I'm going to be this, and I'll destroy you that way, and I mean, you were like, okay, I can kind of think what might come next, and then at the end there, I was like, I don't know how he's going to get out of all of this, and the idea of hope, the idea of hope was just it was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's a really good one. She kind of gave up pretty quick, but still, but again, there's a lot of tension there. I'm still trying to figure out what is going on with all the family members, and of course, where I left off is right where I guess Desire is really plotting against Morpheus, right, or something to that effect. That's where I've left off.
Well, Desire, I shouldn't say like he, she, or whatever.
They,
you're right.
They're
they can
ambiguous
change their gender. Right, it is. They are, and but Desire is trying to do a certain thing. As you know, they cannot kill their family. And when it's family, it also includes his siblings' extended family too. They're a part of that.
Okay.
So, what are they trying to do? I have absolutely. I know what's going on,
Right.
but
Well, and then again, like all of a sudden, the nightmare has kind of disappeared from the last couple of episodes as well. And so I'm like, okay, well, he's still out there too somewhere. Although
are
he's
you talking about the Corinthian?
Corinthian, yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I wish you would have got to. Do you want me to ruin it, or do you? No, I won't.
I don't
Like
I
ruin
don't
it.
care about spoilers to be them, to be honest with you. So because if
I,
it's
I
really well
feel the
done,
same way.
if it's
Yeah,
really well done, it's still going to be just as impactful. But yeah,
yeah.
the whole eyes thing, like changing of the eyes, I can't tell if he's trying to change himself
It's
as well
teeth.
or
It's like teeth, and he's not trying
okay.
to change it. He's eating
Oh,
people's.
okay. Oh,
They show it,
yeah. I
Uh,
didn't catch that part. Okay, this is definitely going to require
yeah,
some rewatches, I believe.
yeah. I mean, so that's why he had the knife, and
Okay.
taking eyes out and putting the eyes in his eyes, but he has teeth there, and
Oh,
he's
his eyes have teeth. Oh,
mhm.
all right. Well,
And
I
so
did not catch that. Yeah. Okay.
look at it's not the first episode. I think it's like the second or the third one where he takes off his glasses and he's talking to Dee's mother, and he did it to scare her, and
Right.
she's like, "I'm not afraid of you. I've got this amulet." I'm like,
Yeah.
I will put you back where you came from,
Hmm.
basically. For someone like him, he's just going to go back to the realm of dreams because he's a nightmare.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. He can't really
uh,
die. Right.
he can't, but humans, as you saw in that
Hmm.
episode, can. How did you feel? Because it was completely different in the comic book graphic novel. How did you feel about him giving that amulet of protection to her and not killing her? How did you feel about that? Because that was something else.
Yeah. That
I
was.
I,
Wait.
I hate it.
You hated it or you did not hate it?
No, I didn't hate it. Rosemary,
Okay.
with the dog. How did
Hmm.
you feel about that?
No, I think it spoke to that he wasn't really like, he wasn't really a quote unquote bad guy.
Right.
He was just so obsessed with truth and genuine honest people
Right.
that and again I think he doesn't need anything else to protect him because he felt he had the all power with the ruby anyway, right? So
Exactly. Yeah, he
but I
had
thought
Greece
it was a
power.
good kind of conflict of just a conflict moment too, because she didn't know what to make of it either, because I
Right.
mean she was clearly afraid of him, and but at the same time she was still genuine and true to herself and to him, and so
Right.
it kind of makes sense that he would say, there's good people out there and you should protect those good people.
Yeah.
And so, but again, a more selfish person probably would have just kept it and said, well, now I've got double protection, right? I've
E-
double had it.
e-
Yeah. So,
exactly. And I think he knew. Well, I think he always knew that she was a good person because he's just like, people are liars, and this is why people do what they do. And
mhm,
she's like, and sometimes people do what they do because they're scared.
right. Yeah. I mean,
And
I thought for a minute that she
yeah,
was maybe getting through to him, things that somehow he had never considered.
but he did. I mean, she
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Rosemary did get through to him
Right.
because I'll tell you in the comic book, John Dee also goes by shit, I can't think of his name, but he's a huge villain for the Justice League.
Okay.
And he's this dream Doctor Destiny,
Okay.
and he's deranged. He's fucked up.
Mm.
And in the comic books and stuff, he killed her.
Oh, we
He
did.
just did, yeah. He didn't care. He just was so deranged and crazy. He killed her.
Mm.
And so this is, I guess, the rub, and where a lot of people are pissed off.
Okay.
They're like, not true to it, not true to it. And it's like, how can you even say that? Because yes, I do go into some of the gay comic book, chat groups and stuff on Facebook. I'm like, Neil Gaiman was there and he approved it. And
So
he
has he
thought
come out and said why that was a change he was cool with?
He hasn't. Not yet.
Okay.
Not that I've heard.
Okay.
Not that I've heard. Or
that would be
I
interesting,
guess I
because
can.
that is a pretty
Yeah.
significant shift.
But I think, and I can't speak for him, of course, but I know he kind of alluded. He's like, look, all this took place in the 80s, when he was writing it. And he goes, things are so different now,
Yeah.
especially when he put it here and now in this day and age and what have you. I was just super amazed. Anyway, I was amazed that he did that.
And
I
did
was
you like
amazed.
that?
Actually, I did. I liked it better. And I personally believe that people don't have a leg to stand on,
Mm.
especially if the creator is there. And it goes for the same thing with the creator of Game of Thrones. Because in this new series, I have no idea how it's going to end. And of course, Game of Thrones season 8 was a shit show anyway. But anyway, um, he had say, but he really didn't. And he's like, if I'm going to do it this time, I'm going to have say in how to do it and what's right and what's wrong and can I change things and this, that, and the other. So House of the Dragon, I'm really excited about, and I think that says something about the people who create these things. If they're alive
Mhm.
still, they need to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
think like J.K. Rowling's been the same way with the Harry Potter series, and I mean, yeah, I
how do
think
you
there's.
feel about?
I'm not. I'm
Just
not
a
the wrong
quick.
person to ask about Harry Potter stuff. I'll be honest with you,
Oh, okay, all
or even
right,
Game of Thrones. They're okay. I don't mind them, but they're not my fandom for the most part.
right,
But I like it when the creators are involved, though, because like you said, even if there are changes, there's usually some reason for that change, or they can at least come back and help you understand why they went that route. And again, if this
mhm,
was written 30 years ago, you're right. A lot of things are different now. And so what, and again, would love to hear Neil Gaiman say it, why he made that change. And again, some of it was maybe just to make it seem more confusing or more conflicting for the character that, he seems like a bad guy, but maybe he's not such a bad guy. Or maybe his
right,
intentions really aren't evil in that kind of way. And he's just more
exactly.
kind of just morally ambiguous, and then he can't get out of his own way. And then I'm guessing from what
Wow.
or not Lucifer, but what Morpheus was saying, with that the ruby was corrupting him in some kind of ways.
And it was because he poured his power into it, and I loved. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert! He poured his power into those three things: his bag of sand, and his
Hmm.
three, I guess, icons or
Yeah,
whatever
his
you
tools.
call them. Yes, there you go. And but I love that, and he played them. Dream played them because
Hmm.
he's just like he kept kind of saying it. I mean, he wasn't completely lying. He's like, he is corrupting you and this, that, and the other. And I need that power. And he did need that power. And he's like, oh, if you need it, I need to destroy
Right.
it. And then he destroyed it. And he was just, but Dream didn't tell him. He's like, thank you for setting my power free. Now it's a part of me again.
Well, he had said that
Yeah.
he hadn't thought about that destroying it would have released it, and he could have reabsorbed it. Because yeah,
True.
often we think, yeah, destroying something just makes it all go away, but
Right.
matter is matter, at the same time. So it makes
Well,
sense
you
that,
can't
yeah,
destroy energy. It's like
right,
it goes back to the whole energy thing.
right,
But I love the fact that, and you are correct, he didn't think about it like that, but afterwards he did. And he was just like, he was thankful that he did
hmm,
it because that power went back to him. And I absolutely loved it. And I loved the whole mental game of
hmm,
like the game he played with him. And I also loved how I think you can tell this is my favorite episode
right,
that with Lucifer. Um he's like, you were a baby at the time. I mean, he didn't say that, but he was just like, you're going to kill me now, aren't you?
right,
And he's like, no, it wasn't your fault. But he didn't let him get away with it either.
right.
He put him in a coma. And a lot of people don't know which insane asylum that is. It's still in DC comic books.
Oh,
Where do you
really?
think it is?
Well, it's not Arkham, because
It
Arkham's not
is.
that nice. Arkham's not that
No,
nice.
it is Arkham. They
Huh.
have different wings for different people.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it is
Interesting. It
Arkham.
didn't. It's not the
In the
Arkham that we're
comic
used to
books,
see.
I know. In the comic books, it's Arkham.
Okay.
John D is in Arkham, and is it that pretty in the comic books?
No, it's a
But
shithole for the most part. Yeah.
yeah, yes, it is. And but was his mother rich and had all this money and this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
other? Absolutely. And these movie things I absolutely love, and I do go online, and there are some content creators who do the deep dive, and they're like, this is how it's different than comic book in these two things, and
Right. But adaptations are going to be
anyway,
like that. You and I were
it
talking before on
has
air,
to
though,
be,
was about
yeah.
the scene with his sister death, which at
Oh
first
my
I was not sure who she
goodness,
was
really?
until actually, yeah, I was like, okay, which one could she be? Because she
Yeah,
wasn't acting like death, and she wasn't the Grim Reaper, right, or anything like that. But
right.
that was such a
Not
really
that we
good
know.
episode, though. Well, yeah, that we know.
Yeah, it's a different take on how death
Right.
deals with things. I knew immediately because of her ankh,
Okay.
what
Yeah.
she was wearing, and in the comic books, she's very goth, but that goes back to the '80s.
Right.
She wore like a top hat. Sometimes she doesn't always wear it, but how you always know it's her is because of the ankh. And I believe, and I'm sure someone's going to correct me, please do. The ankh symbolizes life, I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
And uh, I don't know if you heard some of the stuff she was talking about, but like at one point, she was sick of it. She's like, okay, I'm taking people away to death, but she had to change her thinking
Right.
of it and be like, well, you live this life and it's a celebration, and I'm off to take you
Mm.
where you need to go. And I think she was talking about it more with good people
Right.
than bad people, because she has to take them where they need to go to.
Oh, okay.
And I, I was always wondering this. This is something that I'm offshooting a little bit. I don't think of in the comic books, the ones I've read. My ex-husband used to collect this, and I would read his books and what have you.
Mhm.
Um, Purgatory, I think they address it, but again, they weren't my books, and I tried to read as much as I could
Right.
before he's like, "Give me back my comic books." Like, you're greedy. Anyway, but I would be interested in, if I was at Comic Con at that microphone and Neil Gaiman was there. Yeah, I would just be like, "Did you address purgatory with death?" That's something that still fascinates me.
Hmm.
Anyway, the person I've been going on dates with, he found it fascinating. He's like you, and he's just like, "Is there purgatory? Is there what's going on?" He's like, "This is a new take on death. It's not this grim reaper that's scary and what have you."
Right.
I think my favorite line is that when somebody dies, whether they're good, bad, or whatever, they want to see a friendly, kind face and
Right.
have someone hold their hand.
Yeah. I really
That's all
like
they
that.
want.
I love that revelation that she had with that. And again, I mean, some of it was, I mean, like with the soccer player, I thought was kind of cool. She's like, "Oh, I'll see you soon." Yeah, she didn't give him
I
her
do
number, but
it.
I'll see you soon.
I
I was like, "Oh crap!" They were back in the park. I was
Oh
like, "Oh
shit.
no!"
I know. I was just like, and she kept being playful with
Hmm.
him, and he's just like, "Oh, that car almost hit me." He's like, "I missed it." It's like, she's like, "Oh, by that much, huh?"
Yeah,
By that
let's
much,
go take a look. Yeah.
right? And that's what she did, she is like, okay, you
Yeah, you can
need
see him
to
out there in the street.
know,
Yeah.
right? This is you. This is your spirit version of you, and it's time to take you somewhere else. What really kind of broke my heart was with, well, there was two. Of course, I talked about, the baby.
Hmm.
And I think they did it tastefully because she kind of went to dream. She's like, we need to leave right now.
Right.
She's like, we have to leave right now. And I'm glad they didn't do it the other way with the mother screaming and upset and this, that, and the other. She's like, we have to go. And the guy with the pregnant wife, and he's like, no, I'm not ready. At least let me unlock my phone and give
Yeah.
it to my wife. All the information is there. That was sad, but isn't that a weird commentary on why didn't she have all this information to begin with, you know, or
Right.
have
Yeah.
it written down somewhere? Anyway, I don't know.
I
That's
don't know.
me
Young
thinking it.
young people,
So,
because they were on their honeymoon or something, right?
yeah,
And young people don't always think about that kind of stuff either when they're first getting started. And again, nothing was planned. Even though he was on the shore, I guess he drowned, right? And
he
so
did
it was,
drown. Yeah, people
yeah,
pulled him in
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I saw in
So,
the background there. Yeah, so it was just one of those not planned. You don't know what to. It's just kind of one of those reminders too of you never know when something's going to happen, so you should be as prepared as you can and make sure that somebody knows what
yeah,
you want, what to do, where to look, how to get to stuff,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not something that's super comfortable to talk about though.
It isn't. These things do happen, and I'm glad that I know my family knows, and what have you. If it ever comes down to me, I mean, I had to discuss it with my ex-husband. We were together for 18 years.
Yeah,
That it had to come up
yeah,
at some point. That
right.
conversation has to come up, and yes, I have the whole will and who I want
Hmm.
things to go to, even my comic books, because I have a very great collection. I've got long boxes
Oh,
of,
nice.
of original things like Werewolf by Night. A lot of people don't even understand. It's even gone up in value because of Moon Knight.
Yeah, with Moon Knight. Yep.
Yeah, because that's where he was introduced in Werewolf
Hmm.
by Night.
Yeah, it's
You
like Tales of
know,
Suspense and some of those too. Yeah, most folks don't realize that these
exactly.
the characters didn't start in their own series; they really showed up somewhere else. And
Oh,
some of them
and
not in not books you would be expect to see them in either.
right, and I'm glad you said that because I think it was a second episode where he had to take Gregory, the gargoyle,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, that
and
was so sad.
that really broke my heart. But he made good. He tried to make good and gave him, a new baby gargoyle or what have you.
Right.
Um, but Cain and Abel in the comic books, one is in charge of the House of Mystery, and one is in charge of the House of Secrets.
Right.
And two of my favorite characters came from it. Swamp Thing, I love Swamp Thing. He came from one of those. He didn't have his own comic book. They had to kind of retro
Hmm.
whatever it so he could be in his own series, and also I Vampire, Andrew Bennett. And he was introduced there, in one of the houses. I forget, it escapes me right now, but how amazing that they even put them in there,
Right.
you know? And it was Cain and Abel. It was
Hmm.
actually Cain and Abel, reimagined. And I love it. But some of those comic books, usually they were like anthologies too, like kind of Tales from the Crypt.
Right.
So that was DC's version of basically like Tales and
Gotcha.
stuff like that. So I absolutely loved it. And what did you think about the whole Lucifer thing? Because I am going to ask you this. You've seen Lucifer, the TV series, right?
Oh no, actually, I've never watched it.
Or I mean,
I'm familiar
not
with it.
like
I mean, I know what it
watched
is.
familiar, right?
Hmm.
And it's Tom Ellis, the
Right.
actor, this handsome Englishman, right?
Right.
And they completely went a different way.
Right.
And that and a couple of people again were pissed off it wasn't him. Was
Wait,
that the
is
same
this supposed to be
Lucifer?
is this supposed to be the same Lucifer? Was that who
It
the TV
is.
show was based off of?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because basically, at one point in the comic books, he became so popular, showing up, and Sandman is one of them. You know,
Mm,
he just kind of was like this. I need a vacation. I need to leave hell. That is the premise in that one with Tom Ellis,
okay.
and then all kinds of shenanigans and crazy ensued, and this one, it's more accurate because Lucifer in that is very androgynous
Okay.
looking, and anyway, I wanted your take on the episode. That was one of my favorite episodes. And he did put his girlfriend, you remember when he turned into a black man in it?
Yeah.
And it was the first people.
Hmm.
She killed herself, and he never forgave her for it.
Oh, okay.
And
That's what happened.
he's like, I'm taking you to hell so you can stay here. And as you see, nothing horrible happened to her, but that's where he put her. You know,
Hmm. Okay,
I don't know.
that helps you make sense of that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
because
that
you
one
were
was
like,
a yeah, it was
"What's
like kind of
going
out
on?"
of yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. It changes to a completely different person, and I was like, okay, this must have been a former life type of thing, but I don't know how former
Right.
lives work for basically
He
gods,
can
right?
he can change himself into any form he wishes.
Okay.
He prefers that form that we see him as, but he was upset with her, and how many years was it? I forget. It was like
Oh, it was like
thousands.
10,000 years or something. It was
Oh
ridiculous.
my, yeah. And he's like, I still love you, but I don't forgive you.
Right.
And
Which made sense because he had talked about that, gosh, in one of the other episodes too about forgiveness. And he
he
seems like
changed.
he's not really a forgiving type of person, I guess.
No, he isn't. But throughout somewhat the comic book, but definitely in the series, the TV series on Netflix, it really showed his journey
Hmm.
because you saw people were like, "Don't fuck with him. Just,
Hmm.
just leave him alone, and
Right.
just do what you're supposed to do." But it shows his progression of change for him, and of course, they had to do it a little bit quicker
Hmm.
than they usually do.
Is this supposed to
Uh,
still be ongoing though? Is there going to be another season for it?
um, there is talks about it,
Okay.
and Neil Gaiman very much wants it to
Yeah.
be. But I don't know if it's going to go more into an anthology
Hmm.
mode because there are two special episodes that came out after it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're really good, and it's about one of Dream's wives who's a muse,
Hmm.
and that's all I'm saying. That's
And it's
it.
it's attached to Sandman, or it's something else I have to go
No,
find.
it's one of the stories.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
it's a part. Yeah, it's what, like I say, it's an anthology, and the way they did this show is they had a through line,
Hmm.
but yes, it was two different arcs. So after John D, then a new arc begins,
Okay,
and they felt they had to do it that way because it would confuse people
okay.
if they
I mean, yeah,
didn't.
that kind of makes sense because I mean that finished up that storyline completely. There was nothing left really to tell
Yeah,
from it. Yeah.
right. And
I,
then they had that episode to kind of bridge them with a guy who lived,
yeah. For
all these years, and
hmm.
then the new arc begins. And
It was amusing seeing
I
Morpheus
loved
with
it.
so many different hairstyles, and some of them were absolutely awful.
The 80s. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, that was the least offensive, I think, of all of them was the '80s one. There was one where he had like basically like a helmet on or something. It was his hair was I think it was maybe in the 1800s or 1700s. One of those two.
it was pretty bad. But you know who he based him off of, right?
Mm-mm.
Lead singer of The Cure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You get it now, huh?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
and that's how you can tell it's very 80s, you
Gotcha.
know? And I just think he did a good job. A lot of the fans of the show are loving it. Of course, you're going to have those people who are going to
Oh, sure.
bitch
Yeah.
about it. They do it in Star Wars, and
Hmm.
God bless y'all when you're just like, you're so nice. I don't know if I could be that nice. I think it would destroy people. It's like, shut up, get out of your mom's basement and look at the sunlight. It's out there. Go.
Those are horrible lies, and why would you say such nasty things to me,
Oh,
Richard?
I don't know. I that's not you because that's not you.
Yeah, but no, I'm loving this series though, and like I said, I want to go back and read the comics now, and each one of these episodes is just something new and different, and man, I really like it. I was always interested, and I've heard so much about it because a lot of the comic book people I follow have
Hardcore.
have always
That's
said
the
like so many
hardcore.
things about this, and this thing's been in development and been rumored for so long that it was great to finally see what all
Yeah.
the hoopla was about. And like I said, now I actually want to go back and see how long did the comic series run for? You can just
Um,
say long time or not a long time.
for a bit. I mean, it went
Okay.
from comic book form where it was more a part of DC Universe. I mean, like at one point he's meeting Martian Manhunter,
Oh, okay.
you know,
So it
from
got
the
weird.
Justice
Yeah.
League. Yeah, it got weird. And then when it went to Vertigo, which Hellblazer, which is John Constantine, one of
Hmm.
my all-time favorites, who was introduced in Swamp Thing, um, he backed off because it went. He could back off more, and it was more. Vertigo was very dark.
Yeah.
It was the kind of dark chapter of the DC universe. It wasn't like Superman. I mean, Batman's dark, but not that dark. Not
Right.
that kind of dark. So it was Swamp
Yeah.
Thing. It
Kind of like
was
what
John
kind of like what
Constantine.
Image was to Marvel, like when McFarlane. Yeah.
Or actually, Marvel Knights.
Hmm.
Marvel Knights was the dark version of Marvel, and it was Daredevil. It was the Punisher. It was I believe, what Cloak and Dagger.
Okay.
So it was sometimes Doctor Strange, when he had to go down the dark path and do things like that. It was Ghost Rider, who is my absolute favorite
Oh, really? Yeah.
character. Yes, I love Ghost Rider because he will, his
Hmm.
penance stare is amazing. He's like, oh, everything you've done to people is going to come back to you
Right.
100 times, and you're going to have to sit with it for a bit. So,
I really like that we
I
got
love it.
Constantine though. I thought that was a great. I was like, this is cool, and it was
But it
like
wasn't
female version of the
John.
character too. It was great.
It was his ancestor.
Hmm.
It was his ancestor, and they did it in a certain way because they're coming out with Justice League Dark.
Okay.
And of course, Zatanna is going to be a
Hmm.
part of it. John Constantine, Deadman, Swamp Thing, I Vampire, Andrew Bennett. Uh, all of these it's the supernatural Justice League. So there we go. It's
Sweet.
the
I'm looking forward to that.
demon. He's one of my freaking favorites, Madame Xanadu.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's going to be awesome. It sucked that you can put John Constantine in this. I'm like, come on, we're smart enough to know
Right.
that this John Constantine is not the same one that's going to be in whatever movie that's in development hell right now.
Right. But it was still cool to
So
see like the actual
I loved
ancestor
her.
too, like throughout the
Yeah,
history of the character too, like that she,
yeah.
kind of resurfaced from time to time, and yeah, I liked it. I thought that was really cool. I was unexpected. I didn't realize this is like a whole new world for me. So yeah,
Well,
I
it's
really all this is
it's
brand
super
new for me. That's
fun.
cool.
Hey man, it's super fun. And then of course, Constantine, some of his ancestors, they always come in contact with all of these different horror,
Hmm.
supernatural creatures. He is from a group of, I want to say Homo Magi, and I'm sure someone's going to destroy me for that, but it's a group of magical people. But I like John Constantine because he's a con artist.
Right.
And he's con demons and the devil. My favorite con is that he's sold his soul to, like, I think it was like the devil and 3 different demons.
Right.
And when he died, they all came. We're like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "Oh, we all have a claim," and it's like, "Oh shit! Well, we can't take him." He's like, "Oh, guess I have to live. So put me back on Earth," or whatever he said, and it's kind of cool. This is why they're well written. Constantine had a horrible, childhood, and he's also, bisexual. He loves, his women, and he loves the men in his life.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, and he's a very, I don't want to say complicated, but he's a very interesting, I would say interesting character. And it's not always tragic,
Right.
and he is intelligent, and he is, I almost want to say he's the Doctor Strange of the DC universe, but he isn't. It's Doctor Fate.
Right.
But yeah, and you'll see Doctor Fate in the new Black Adam movie. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So we are running out of time. Can we talk about She Hulk?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what are your thoughts on She Hulk so far?
I love it. I don't want people to think I'm like this fanboy, but like I am to a certain extent. But if it's wrong, it's wrong. Okay. I love it because it's like the comic book. She breaks the fourth wall, and everyone wants to say, "Oh, Deadpool, she's doing what?" I'm like, no, she did it before Deadpool.
Yeah, she was before Deadpool.
I'm like, look at when they were created and stuff like that. And she's self-aware, and she would rip pages of comic books and go to the end and talk to the people who are drawing her and writing her. She's like, "I don't like that. Change it." What a great character, and it's the Hulk's cousin. But anyway,
so what do you think about what do you think about some of the criticism though? So some people have been saying that she's just too arrogant. She doesn't seem to learn any lessons or anything like that. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so clearly there's a lot of development yet to come, right? But exactly. what do you think about those comments early on? Especially with her and Bruce.
9 episodes, so they could take their time because Moon Knight was 6, right? So it's 3 more, and you can flesh her out. I think the second episode kind of showed her. She's like, "I just want to go back. I want to be a lawyer. I'm a good lawyer." And then what happened? She couldn't even get a job, and it went through. If you looked at the background, she went from this highfalutin, beautiful, beautiful.
She was like in the basement of one of the interviews. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, damn, girl, this is bad, And she was hating herself and her family.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, yeah, the family made me uncomfortable. I was like, oh my gosh.
Who was the dad? Because I said it on our Facebook page, and
he was in Sabrina. He was the principal from Sabrina.
I didn't watch Sabrina, so.
Oh yeah, the Sabrina the TV. That's who it was though, but I can't remember his name.
But what's the original series you saw him in?
Oh, you got to tell me. I don't remember.
You will remember. He was in Perfect Strangers.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was cousin Larry.
Yeah, he was Larry.
Cousin of Balky. Yeah, Balky's cousin, who he lived with. And,
that's right.
Anyway, and I'm like, what's the spinoff of Perfect, Strangers? And someone got it right, and they're like, oh, it was the TV series with Urkel.
Really?
Because the mom was a security guard where he worked.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen that show too.
I know. I'm the king of spinoffs, so I'm not going down that road. That's
and
like
yet
a
you've never
road
watched
trip
Sabrina the
game.
Teenage Witch.
Not that Sabrina.
You watched the Netflix Sabrina, I'm sure.
Yeah, because the other one was too silly for me. So,
okay. Well, anyway, that's where he's from too.
Okay. But your thoughts, come on! I want to hear your thoughts for somebody.
There's another character I'm not familiar with. I grew up with with your Spider-Mans and some of those other characters, and so I didn't really ever know She Hulk very well. I knew of her and knew when she would kind of cross over, but this is all kind of new. I like it. I mean, it's a different. The thing I like about the Marvel shows that are coming out is that they are so diverse and so different from one another, and each one has its own just completely different feeling to it. And so I really like that. I like that this one's a bit more lighthearted and it doesn't really take itself too seriously.
It doesn't. I love that. This is my.
I'm totally honest with you. And when the director says that it's horny forward, I'm here for the horny forward. So.
Yeah, you haven't got to the episodes yet.
We haven't got that far yet.
Right?
That's right.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. By the way,
I'm curious to see how they do all that. Yeah.
Well, I think you kind of saw the commercial. She's like carrying like this big hunky man. She's just like, no, I'm gonna teach you something.
Yeah, you were telling me all the characters that she's had some relations with in the comics. I had no idea. She's got amazing taste.
Yeah, she's and I haven't even told you all of them.
Oh,
so it's quite funny. Even the character, I will say this, I'll put that out there. Did you see Eternals or you didn't see?
Yeah, I saw Eternals. Yeah.
Okay, so you saw at the end Star Fox, who is Thanos's brother.
Right.
He showed up with Pip the Troll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she got with him a lot.
Oh wow.
But come on, I mean, who's playing Star Fox?
Right. Well, and so where did Banner go? Where did Bruce Banner go?
So interesting, and thank you for that. They are going. The rumor is they're going to do World War
Hulk. Yeah, but he's already been to Sakaar, right? I mean, that's where Thor.
But he's going back, and this is the thing. He ended up having a son with one of the people there, Scar. Right. Yeah. And I love Scar. So Scar basically is born this way with all of the intelligence and the muscle. So what do you do with a character like that? And it had to be something important for him to get his ass back there. Okay. Because he was just kind of like content, being with the Avengers and stuff like that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So anyway, I think it's going to be pretty cool. What else about She-Hulk? I love her assistant. I love Pug. They introduced Pug in it. He's just like, here's a gift basket, and here's where you go poop.
Yeah, I saw that. And do you watch all the credits and everything? Because they have little clips at the very end too.
Yeah, with the parents.
But
Captain America.
I love all the watercolor stuff too. Like just I love concept art, and so the watercolor is kind of like a fun version of it. But yeah, they had the little card: poop here, don't poop here.
That's a real character. It was in She-Hulk #2. He premiered, and he's a good character, but he has like a huge crush on her.
Oh, okay.
Whether she's Jen or She-Hulk, he likes both. So her assistant cracks me up. I'm sorry. She's like,
I love her.
But they gave us.
Right.
So anyway, we are hitting our time. And thank you so much. I can't wait until the next one. So we'll
have another episode of She-Hulk under our belts by then too.
Oh, episode 3. So right. I am super excited. But yes, it is a comedy. Daredevil will be showing up in it.
Yeah.
I can't believe they brought him and Kingpin into this universe, and Jessica Jones, as well as Luke Cage.
Yep, I'm looking forward to all that coming back. But no Iron Fist,
and Punisher. And Punisher, too.
And Punisher. I thought Punisher was still a rumor. Okay, we'll see. Well, and then next time we talk, we might even have Lord of the Rings by then. I know you're super excited about Lord of the Rings.
Hey, it's coming out this upcoming week.
Yeah, the second, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. Bring it. They're trying to distinguish themselves though from Peter Jackson.
Yeah, I can already kind of tell. Yeah. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I like what Peter Jackson did, but I know everyone wants to put their own stamp on things. I get that,
and it's been a number of years, and Hobbit didn't really work as well for everyone like the original Lord of the Rings did. So
we could talk about that another time. I want to know because I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either.
Yeah,
so
I didn't care for it. There you go. I
did
the Richard review. Care for it.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, man, thank you so much for being a part of it. I can't wait to do the next one. We're going to have some of our other friends on it, and
awesome.
We're going to be discussing nerdy shit, pop culture, and I'm excited. So I will see you next time.